What's going on, guys? I'm Armandi the Millennial, and we are back at it on another Mother's Day episode of Boomer and the Millennial.
And I'm Reggie the Boomer, and in this episode, we talk with cousins Mark and Jan about their continued struggle to fight a railroad coming through their land.
That's right. And of course, we also have our regular check-ins, current events, sports, and entertainment segments.
And Armandi, don't forget our newest segment, The Known Game, where we explore deeper questions and deeper connections. And this time, we have a very special member of our family who will join us. So stay tuned. This edition of Boomer and the Millennial. I'm Reggie the Boomer.
And I'm Armandi the Millennial, and you know we are back at it like a crack addict. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, grandmas, aunts,
sisters,
dogs, sisters,
cousins,
dog moms, everyone.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, hey, you know.
We can add in the dog moms. You're freezing.
What else is new?
What's that Wi-Fi spectrum? What do you got out there?
I don't know, but clearly
what do you
this
need to
happens
get
every time.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Well,
is that better? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you got to see my face for a little bit.
I don't get to see you, man. I just, we gotta fix that, man. I tell you, I don't know what that fix means, but
yeah, I know. I thought it'd be better because there's less people in the house right now, so there's not as much Wi-Fi being used. But I guess that's not necessarily the case.
Yes, because your wife is out of town. Yeah, you're there by yourself. You don't have your gaming system on, do you?
No. Why would I have my gaming system on while we're doing this?
Because I'm just like, I know you're waiting to get off of this. So no, that's right. You got to go to work today.
Yeah, exactly.
On Mother's Day. Oh my goodness. So that's just that ain't right. That's just not right.
Exactly.
What else is going on?
I mean, not much. What's going on with you? I feel like you were just out of town.
Yeah.
Oh, I was also just out of town, but tell us about your trip to LA and how that was. So
it was wonderful. For those of you who don't know, and I guess you don't because I'm telling you, right?
Right.
Your mom and I, we went out to LA to visit your Aunt Regina, who is the executive producer and showrunner for the Upshaws, which we'll talk about later in the show. They just dropped another segment of, I think, 6 episodes. And these, I guess, were episodes prior to the writer's strike. But we went out for the next season that'll be coming out at some point, and we went out to a live taping. It was great.
Nice. Yeah. It's been a minute since you guys have done that, too.
Yeah. So is your mom and your cousin Patrice, and we sat there in the front row amongst about 100 plus people in the audience. And we got to meet all of the stars, Mike Epps, Wanda Sykes and Kim Fields. Got pictures with them. I need to post those, by the way. And it was just really neat to see your Aunt Regina just at work, sitting there next to the director on that front line, right in front of all the monitors. What do you call it? That's a term.
Video village.
The video village. Mm-hmm. And all of the people sitting behind her.
Yeah.
Which all of those people report to her. There's like 50 or 60 people, man. They're just like lined up,
makeup, wardrobe, all those people. Yeah. All the other writers and
got to meet Stephanie. We all know who you may not know.
I was about to say
is married to LeVar Burton of Star Trek fame, and we've been trying to get LeVar on with their daughter too because she's a millennial. So we'll see how that goes. But Stephanie did say, and I'm putting this out there, Steph. So if you're listening, she did say she was going to make the interview happen.
Okay.
So it was nice to meet her in person. We've just been communicating through social media. So got to meet her, to have your sister running things. That's pretty cool. But it was funny. The process because you worked on the show. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I've, seen how the whole process works. I've, even going from the writer's room to before they rehearse and shoot in front of the live audience and everything. Yeah. I've been a part of I've seen each and every part of it. So it's pretty cool. It's definitely a different experience than a single cam production. So really what you see on network television, that's not like multicam. So it's like two totally, there's a lot of similarities, but also a lot of differences. So
they all spoke highly of you, which made
I do appreciate that.
Your mom and I proud. They miss you. I saw where your desk was, and so everybody sent their shout outs to you and want to know when you were coming back. So I'm just, kind of putting it out there. But I will say too that the Crafty, man, the food was just off the chain. It was just incredible.
Yeah.
How they get all that food and all that stuff in that one little room. I am just, they got food going up the wall, man. It was great. So we got to experience that. So yeah, it was fun. The whole trip was really nice. Weekend. So it was kind of a turnaround for us, but it was great. So what's going on with you?
Not too much. Still just working. That's been keeping me busy, and Nia and I went to Portland.
Oh, that's right.
A couple weekends ago. Yeah, I went to Portland, Oregon. It's a very interesting city. Very rainy. It's raining the whole time we were there. I will say this: I could not see myself living there, which is really funny because one of my coworkers was just like, "Hey, guess what? I'm moving to Portland," which is wild.
Wow. Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Just, I don't know. It just doesn't. It's just not a place to be. I'm sorry for whoever lives in Portland. People just seem no. People in Denver are happy. People in Portland seem upset all the time
because it's raining all the time.
Probably. It's like a constant mist. It's like when you go to Disney World and they got those mist sprayers. It's like just that constantly in your face.
Yeah.
But they do. I will say this: the best part of Portland that I got to experience while I was there was Powell's bookstore. So apparently this is very famous across the country. If you're really into books, or I really like privately owned bookstores. I know that's a little random, a little weird. I've always been a fan of Barnes and Nobles, just like the atmosphere and everything. And I love to read. I wish I did it more, but I really like private bookstores. And so this bookstore is a privately owned bookstore, but it's the size of a Barnes and Nobles. It's got its own coffee shop in it. I mean, there's different rooms that are divided by colors. So there's different color rooms with different genres of books. And it's huge. The employees need walkie-talkies to talk to each other. That's how big the place is. But it's so nice. And they have used and new books. And it's been open since the 70s. They got a couple of locations, but I think it's local to Portland. Yeah, it was just a very cool experience. I went one day while Nia was working, and then the day before, or the day we left, because we left in the evening, I brought Nia to check it out. One thing I thought was interesting was one section they have for banned books, and so I was like, that's weird. Like, why would the books be banned? And so you get closer and you see there's little descriptions for each of these books in this section where they explain why or if these books are banned in other countries, which I thought was very interesting. So it brings awareness to why these books are banned. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like I was blown away by this bookstore.
And not just, we're talking books that are, unfortunately, that's going to be driven now by a lot of states that are banning books.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's happening here in Georgia. We're not talking about more progressive books. We're talking about some classics that are being banned in states around the country. So, yeah, that sounds like a pretty. Did you get a book? Did you?
I did. I got a couple of books. I got a few screenwriting books. One of which that I know I already own. It's in storage. I think in Savannah. It's a screenwriting book. And the writer, the hero's journey. I don't know if you have that one, but I just rebought it because it was used, and I also got still on the Red Rising series. I know sometimes we talk about what we're reading, but I'm still in the Red Rising series. I'm on book 4 now. I just finished book 3. I finished it while I was in Portland, and then bought book 4. And then also got another screenwriter's Bible, something like that. I think it's called. It's a couple of screenwriting books. Nia got a couple of books as well, and we got a cute little tote bag that says Powell's City of Books. Yeah, since 1971.
So then on this day, because I'm looking at my ebony Black History calendar, and every day we make it history. Just want y'all to know that. And in 1923, the Flames of Wrath release is announced. So now we just got to find out what is.
I was about to say, I have no idea what that is. So,
so I'm going to I'm going to say, like Wanda
Let's look it
Sykes
up.
said in one of the episodes, Google it.
Right.
That's
right.
out
And
now.
that was a Black History Month.
Yeah, that's the
That was a Black
Month.
History episode too.
Right.
What is it? You said the what of Wrath?
The Flames of Wrath. Like
you said
flames
1920?
1923. It was released.
23.
The release is announced.
After PC Gordon is murdered and robbed of a diamond ring that he bought as a birthday present for his wife, a boy playing in the lot digs up the ring and gives it to his older brother, Guy Braxton, a dry goods merchant. This is a lot. This is a lot. Okay, shout out Black History. It don't even. This is on IMDb.
But is it?
This is too much. It got a 9 out of 10 on IMDb though.
Oh, it's a movie, basically.
Yeah, it's a movie.
It's a movie.
What did you think it was?
I don't know. You didn't ever say it was a movie. You just kind of went into the
I should have just looked at Wikipedia. I mean, this is complicated.
I didn't expect you to go into the plot and all of that. You could have just said, "Hey, it's a Black movie."
Yeah, it says Flames of Wrath in the pioneering African American women of silent cinema. This is on filmschoolrejects.com. So
okay.
Maria P. Williams is one filmmaker who illustrates how Black women succeeded in making films when Hollywood wanted to exclude them and why these women need to become a household name. And so her first and only film, Flames of Wrath, remains a historical achievement, and her life is just as fascinating as her legacy.
Oh, well, maybe somebody should do a movie about her life
first. Oh,
well, yeah, but maybe somebody should do a movie about her life and the making of the movie.
True. She's from Missouri. She was born in 1866.
Wow.
Not much is documented about her early life, but it is believed that she was a school teacher in the late 1800s as a young woman. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do a deep dive, but now I'm actually curious. So I'll
right.
Up. I'll read it later.
In the words of Wanda Sykes, Google it.
Right, exactly.
And we're going to talk about that episode in a few minutes. But a lot of people have been asking about what's going on with the railroad down in Sparta, Georgia, where our relatives own property. It's been in the family for 97 years. Yeah. And this railroad baron, we can call him that, I guess, in his mind, he's a railroad baron, but he wants to put a spur from his rock quarry, which also has environmental issues around it, from the rock quarry to the main railroad track. So it's called a spur, but it runs through people's property in the neighborhood, behind their homes. We've talked about what's going on down in Sparta. And so we're going to bring on Jan. I had an opportunity just to talk to her briefly, find out what's going on, to give an update and how you can help in this effort. But Jan, I want to thank you for coming on. We've been, keeping everybody informed about what's happening with the situation there in Sparta. A lot of feedback from our listeners wanting to know what's going on, what happened. We knew that the hearing was coming up. So, yes, Armandi and I said we need to get Jan on and Mark and just talk about, what's happening right now. I know that your community members and the property owners, have now gone through this process. So I saw it online. I don't know. We haven't talked since seeing it. We've been bringing people up to date. We've actually sent them the link, but I did see the hearing with the one PSC, a public service commissioner there. I did interesting. I took a picture at one time when he was kind of looking down on his phone when the community was testifying, and some of the community members, they were testifying, and he was kind of like, like he was not that interested. So I almost posted it. I said, but I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Right. So now that the initial hearing has happened, it's my understanding that he recommended, to, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, to the rest of the board that the railroad go through.
Well, actually, he said they had public use.
Public use.
They used the term public use.
Okay, so he basically made a ruling in their in their favor, the
Yes, he
railroad's
did.
favor.
Yes, that's right.
So now, you got the community members and the property owners that have been going through this for the last 2 years that's happened. How's everybody feeling?
Well, of course, when we got the decision, April the 1st of all days, April the 1st, it was a kick in the stomach. It was just a totally absolute kick in the stomach. Our attorneys were well prepared. They had several, I want to say 5 or 6 subject matter experts showing where Mr. Tarbutton had not done any kind of research or to show anybody with a business proposal, they would reach out and look at their financial worksheets or how much is this going to cost, or he had done none of that. And we just knew, just coming up there saying things like, I just know it's going to work. That was his response. I just know. And we just said, you know what? Wait a minute now. We've got 600, 700, 800 acres, our family, 600 acres of property in an entire community that's already inundated with a rock quarry and asphalt plant and another train and Vulcan. We just know that this hearing officer is going to say, wait a minute, you need to go back and do your homework or something. You need to go back and do some research on this because we're getting ready to upheave these people's lives. And one comment was made, okay, so if you do get it and it falls through because you haven't done your market research, what about the property owners? What about those people that have just lost their property to you that you now own? And he said they can buy it back. And I was like, what a comment. They can buy it.
They can buy their own property back.
They can buy their own
with a train on it, right?
with the railroad tracks on it.
Yeah.
I just knew we had it. Prayed about it, knew we had it. And like I said, we had some of the best pro bono
representation,
Yes, from IJ. They're some of the best in the country.
And IJ is just
Institute for Justice.
Okay.
The Institute for Justice. Those are the attorneys. Bill Maher being the lead attorney for the No Railroad Coalition. And then we had the Southern, he was representing the 17 property owners. And then we had the Southern Poverty Law Center representing the predominantly Black community. And they're just powerhouses. They went and did their research on Black history, Black land loss, environmental injustice, how close this train was going to be to our homes. They have, all of them have been down here and seen the situation. So we just knew that hearing officer was going to rule in our favor. Just the injustice of it all. So we were all very, very disappointed, but like anything in life, we knew we had prayed over it. God wouldn't have sent those wonderful attorneys, and 2 years out.
Because it was 2 years ago. He was talking about April. That thing was getting ready to
2 years.
Yeah, to crank up.
And we had fought him on our own without any kind of legal representation from April of 2022 till March of 2023. Just saying no, sending him correspondence saying, no, we don't want you here. We're going to fight you. We did prayer rallies. We did media events. We just back off. And the audacity that he would take us. He took us to take our property. He took us to the Public Service Commission. Right. So we were disappointed, but like anything else, we picked ourselves up, prayed, and say, you know what? God wants some more to come out of this, wants this to go on so that we can help others, so that so these injustices can be exposed.
Right. So everybody that was part of the coalition still there, nobody's kind of wavering. Did you have anybody you had to convince to say, look, we got to stay in the fight?
No. No,
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
everybody, all the property owners, and they didn't have to. They could have pulled out.
Yeah.
Just said, I'm tired. The Institute for Justice could have said, this is a losing proposition. But it just didn't happen like that. It just, we knew we had a strong case. The hearing officer is just one person.
Right.
One man.
Right.
That too, to me, was mind-boggling because we went through a 4-day hearing. It was like a trial. It was like a courtroom.
And I think too that probably Tarbutton and none of those people on that side of the room, because it's really not court, but it did feel like that because I watched it.
It felt like one.
I know they had in their wildest imagination would never have thought, because normally those kinds of things, day and a half, couple of hours, boom, 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 people say something, rubber stamp, and it's out the door. To have 4 days of testimony.
From morning to shutdown.
I think they had no idea.
Closing house.
Yeah, I remember.
I was like, oh my goodness.
So I know that in itself is like, even the Public Service Commission person that was hearing this probably had no clue that this was going to happen. Now, you said that the coalition is together, which is great, sticking together, and you did mention that IJ is the representation you had, that they're moving forward with this appeal. They're going to be part of this appeal. Is that correct?
They lead, co-counsel. The Institute for Justice and the Southern Poverty Law Center co-counsel with Bill Maher from the Institute for Justice being the lead attorney there, and Jamie Rush being the lead attorney for the Southern Poverty Law Center. I just thank God that these two organizations were able to come together and represent us in such a way that the people who were listening could get a picture of exactly what was going on. You have a millionaire. He professed it. He was a millionaire. He might be a billionaire. I don't know. He said he had $25 million he could lose. I mean, and I'm not saying anything that's not on tape. That's on YouTube.
Right.
You go back and read it. He said, listen to it. When he told me he had $25 million he could lose, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why do you want something that's not yours in a Black community that you want to take? Our land is that's just mind-boggling to me, that you would sit up there and boast and brag that kind of way. Yeah,
because now it's not just even about the economics of the thing in his mind. Now it's pride. It's
absolutely.
Excuse me. It's I can't let these people.
Absolutely.
Who, particularly Black folk.
Absolutely.
The thing is that he is spending a lot more money on his end.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
And I don't think he realizes, too, the deep pockets of both of these organizations. But he has no clue as to kind of what, and he needs to do some research to understand what he's gotten himself into.
Well, I think he kind of has, because the week after, the next week, in the newspaper, he said, let's work together, no more litigation.
Right.
And this is the next week.
Yeah.
Let's work together.
Right.
No more litigation.
Right.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's probably serious. He's like, he probably got that first bill, from this whole thing from the beginning up through the hearing. He probably looked at that thing and went, "Oh my goodness, can we all get along?"
Right. The answer is absolutely. How do you work that out?
Yeah.
There is no working that out.
Right. But that's a sign. That's a sign that he, to your point, realizes kind of what he's gotten himself into. What's next? We're going to talk a little bit about the local landscape in a second, but now what's the appeal process look like? How does that work? And do you have any timetable on it?
The appeal was for 30 days. So the attorneys filed on the 1st of May. Well, first of all, they had to get approval to appeal from, I think it's 5 commissioners. There's either 4 or 5 commissioners there that they're going to appeal to. So they had to, even just to appeal, get that approval, which they did.
Mm-hmm.
And the appeal was filed in a timely manner within those 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
So now these actual public service hearing who are elected officials.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but they're elected.
Yeah, they're elected. That's right.
And in my mind, I'm still, how does an organization that deal with cell phone disputes and Georgia Power and electric company disputes.
Utilities,
How do they deal with a train?
Right.
Something that's going to disrupt and take from a group of people. My property is not like my cell phone bill nor my gas bill for you to negotiate and say whether I got to pay it or not.
Right.
So I see that being a problem and an issue in the future, something that needs to be taken care of. So there's the appeal process that was met in a timely manner. And
so is there another hearing, or how does that work?
Yes, there is, but this time in front of them.
Okay.
This time in front of them. I don't know if we have to come back. All of us have to come back. The property owners, I believe. I don't know if the community will have to come back and we have to go through all of that again. I don't know. So I was just, they're very, very good about updating us weekly. I was just told now, the timetable again. We went from they don't know the timetable.
Okay, so you don't know when this next hearing will happen.
No, but we do know from November, December, January, February. That was 6 months, almost 6 months from the hearing for one person to make a decision. And then it was from the time Tarbutton took us to the PSC. It was like 9 months.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it takes time, but it's also where he can't do anything, right? So he can't, all he can do now is spend money on lawyers.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. And that's the joy that we got out of it. Hey, this might not be so bad.
Right.
because right now we're still I've done the same thing you did. Right now we still have our property. We can safely enjoy that.
And he can't do anything, and he's got to go through the process, and it's and it could, like you said, there are other ways even after this. There are other you could go
if we don't
the legal route.
If we don't make it through this one, we go to the Georgia Supreme Court and then on to the United States Supreme Court.
Well, let me just say this, and you mentioned it, that for a lot of people listening, as we're now in an election year, a lot of judges and public service commissioners and things like that are on the ballot. Some are even on the ballot now in May.
Yes.
Right? So I think this is a reminder that people need to be cognizant about their local races and how important those races are to your everyday life. I mean, more so than, we all get caught up in the president and the senators and things like that. And you've got your landscape there, like you said, Hancock County, which is predominantly black, now has kind of gone back to the way it was many years ago, where you have a white mayor, you've got a white commissioner board chair, right? The chair is white.
The two top political positions.
And I think in our conversations before, you were saying that they really didn't support the coalition in fighting this, right?
No. In fact, the mayor came up and testified on behalf of Ben Barber.
That's right. He was there.
Yes, he came up in person and supported it. And then one of the so-called people who were going to use the train for public use, the quarry, Heidelberg Quarry, one of the largest quarries in the world, in a little black community. The president, the CEO, he was asked the question by the hearing officer or by one of the attorneys, who else from Hancock County supports the train? And he mentioned our chairperson, our board chair, and everybody's mouth just dropped. We couldn't believe it. We have been going and attending board meetings with her for the past 2 years. And her only response to her first response to us when we said, what happened? Where's this guy coming from? Did you know anything about it? And she said, well, when I found out about it, he was headed to the mailbox to mail your letters. And I'm like, wait a minute, aren't you our elected official? Don't you have some say?
Right.
Are you telling me he's got the power to just
come
go
into the
Yeah.
come into the county and do that.
And he went to you. How come you couldn't call us? You know us. This is a little small town. Your father and my father-in-law served together.
Right. Right.
It's not like you don't know us.
Right.
You could have just had the decency to call. Yeah. So
sounds to me like there needs to be change.
We are working on that one. That has been a topic. I've tried to stay away from it because I get so emotional. But I was very, very proud during the debate that we had. We had a couple of debates, and I was very proud of the citizens of Hancock County because when we first started, when the news came out, it was like it's their problem. It's the Smith and that community over there's problem. We had very little traction from the rest of Hancock County, very little support. So I was sitting in the forum and several people just stood up and said, what about that train?
Yeah.
What are you doing? How did that happen?
So what's the election landscape like? Is this something that will be happening in the fall? Are there primaries going on now? What's going on with that?
Yeah, we have the primaries right now, and we have a very powerful, young, energetic young man. His name is Adric Ingram, and he's running for the board chairman position.
Okay.
In fact, the lady who's in office right now, our current board chairman, she's been in there 8 years. So
there's no term limits.
No term limits. That's another one. So he actually came and spoke on our behalf. This is before he even decided to run for office. He said, what can I do? What can I do to help you all? And I said, well, you can come up there and speak, or you can write something in our behalf. And he said, I think I'd like to come up and speak. And he's also on the video, and he was also on the news. And he likened our property to a Picasso painting. And he said, how would you like to have your Picasso painting and someone took a Crayola or a marker and just drew a line through it? How would you feel? And he likened our property to that train coming through. So he's a top contender for that office on the Democratic ticket. We have three candidates on the Democratic ticket with the incumbent and one on the Republican
side. Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. So now that we've got the appeal going, and what can folk listening to the podcast do to help? I'm glad you asked me that question, because earlier on, so many people asked me, and I just didn't have a response. I was just overwhelmed. Yeah.
I just, all I could say was pray. You just pray.
Right, yeah.
And I still say that, right. But I can also say this. We have a Governor Kemp, appointed Benjamin Tarbutton in 2022 to the Savannah Port Authority. With all of this going on, Mr. Tarbutton has never mentioned that. He's mentioned all the other organizations that he's a part of, and that he heads and he's the chairperson of, but he's never mentioned that. What we did find out, he revealed to us, is he's trying to link up two major railroads, the CXX and Norfolk Southern. CXX, which is in Sparta, Georgia, and Norfolk Southern, which is in Sandersville, his hometown, where his short line is located, that he uses for kaolin, to haul kaolin, that could possibly run all the way to the Savannah Port Authority, Savannah Port. Now, with all of this being national news, it's been national news. It's been on CBS.
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah. I
know our governor has seen and heard this. Why he hasn't chimed in one way or the other about, and I know he knows about diminishing Black land. I'm sure he's very informed, but this has been something that
he's not really,
right. He's just chosen to not mention. Now, if I've got somebody on my board and they're involved in something major like this, I think I'd have something to say, but I'm not the governor. So I say, and also Senator Warnock. Senator Warnock's another one. I've spoken to him personally before he even became a senator and told him about this. His office contacted me right after the hearings. His Washington, D.C. office contacted me, wanted more information, but I haven't heard anything from him. And I'm really, really surprised, him coming from a farming family. They know this is farmland, generational farmland. He's a Georgia boy. He talks about hard work, acquiring properties. And it'd be different if he talked to my husband and I about it.
He went to my high school, as a matter of fact, in Savannah. He went to Johnson.
Okay.
I think that to your point, probably the important thing for folks to do is to contact his office. I would imagine to let him know and remind him and his office, along with the governor and any other representative. The more they know, and the more they know that constituents across not just the state, but particularly the state, that the people that they represent, this is an issue. So that would be, I would think, something that folks could do in this interim kind of period between now and the appeal.
Yes. Oh, yes. And all you got to do is Google how to contact them.
Right.
Just go in there and Google, and you can get them. And we're talking about, I'm a veteran. We have 6 of our property owners who are veterans who served our country. Ben Tarbutton has served his country. We've served our country. My sons have fought in the Iraqi war, teenagers. We sent them to school using that land as a means of paying for their private tuition.
Yeah, and I think what we talked about before is that everybody in the family, on Mark's side in particular, have served just about.
Yes. Yes.
Even his dad, and it goes back a long way of service to this country. And I think that that's part of the legacy of the homestead that you all are trying to protect. And we are praying. I keep y'all in prayer every day.
Thank you.
And so now, we just need to get folk. And I'm glad that you took the time, because I know you're busy. I know you got a lot of things going on.
But this is important.
Yeah.
This is important.
Yeah. So we want to just get the message out. And I will say, this is one of the main questions we get. Of all the things we cover and talk about, this is at the top of the list. So I'm glad that we had an opportunity to talk and to let people know what they can do and kind of keep them informed. And then we'll be in touch. Whether we talk or not, I still have to do an update.
Oh, absolutely.
Every show, I have to do an update. So.
Well, the other media people have. I mean, it just was crazy after that thing, that announcement.
Yeah.
Tar Button, the attorney called me on the phone and told me, Miss Jamie Rush called me and told me, and the IJ told the property owners, and it wasn't 15 minutes later, it hit AP Press.
So people are connected, and we just know that this thing is going to turn in your way and the community's way, that the Lord has been with you on this to give you all the pathways and bringing the people that you need to help and continue this fight. And we're going to be there with you. We're there for you, behind you. And if you need us to come down and carry a sign, we're willing to do that.
We appreciate it.
So, Jan, I just want to thank you so much for joining us and giving us an update. And we'll definitely be in contact. And as always, give my best to Mark and the rest of the family.
I will. Okay. I will. You too, likewise. Okay.
I want to thank Jan for reaching out.
For those of you who don't know or who may not remember, Known card game. Deep Questions, Deeper Connections is the card game that my wife Nia made, created. And, it's really about asking questions to evoke stories and to get to know people, to build deeper connections with people. And there's 3 different rounds, and each round gets deeper with the questions that are asked and that sort of thing. And so the app is on the App Store, Known Question Game. And then also if you go to knowncardgame.com, you can order the physical version of the game and everything. It looks great.
It does.
People love it. They've been playing it and sharing it and that sort of thing. So if you want your own copy of Known Question Game, definitely check it out. And we'll put the link on our website if it's not already on there and everything. And yeah, just shout out to my wife, shout out to Nia.
So your mom's sitting here, so let's do a couple of questions from Known.
Okay, gotcha.
Mom. Your mom said that's level 1. Stay at level 1.
Right. Okay, level 1.
Your mom said don't make them too deep. So she scratches her head like I'm not So we're gonna go level 1.
Okay.
You want to come over here a bit so you can share the mic with me, and I'll let you lean in because we only have this one mic here, so you just have to lean in when. Can you do that? Can you hear?
Mm-hmm.
Lean in a little more. Just let me move over here. Okay. So just lean in like this.
Can you hear me?
Yes, mother, I can hear you. So, Known, phase 1, first question. Here we go. What song best describes your life right now?
Oh my goodness. Living my life like it's golden. Golden.
Okay. Oh, by
is that Music Soul Child?
No, that's
who's that?
What's her name? Living my life like it's golden. I can't.
I didn't take that Prefergen, I see.
I know. Prefergen is. I just ordered some. It just came yesterday, so I hadn't been taking.
It's Jill Scott. That's crazy. Yeah. I said Jill Music Scott. Soul Child.
Jill Scott.
Living my life like it's golden by Jill Scott.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I don't know why I said Music Soul Child. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why you said Music Soul Child, but I couldn't think of it either.
I don't think that.
Yeah, but that's that's totally off.
She said she doesn't think that.
Forgive me.
I can say it.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't think that really describes my life right now, but that's what I'm aiming for.
I see. Okay. That's fair. Okay, this is a good question. This is still phase 1. What?
Oh, you got to answer. Am I supposed to answer it too?
Sure, you can.
Wait, I just thought of one that describes my life right now.
Okay, what is it?
Change gonna come.
That's what you hoping for.
Okay, yeah.
What about you, Armandi?
That's tough. I don't really know if I have a song that describes my life.
Oh, what about Living It Up? I don't know. Friday night? No, not Friday night.
What are you talking about? All right, we're just gonna move on. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Forgive my parents, please. What draws you to people?
That's easy for me. I think a smile. Yeah, someone that that just seems to be in a good mood, and instead of frowning or looking down, they smile.
I'll have to say their openness and their authenticity.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
What about you, Armandi?
Yeah, I would say sort of similar to what my mom said. Probably just when people are genuinely them.
Yeah.
And just genuine people and real, and that draws me to people.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, in the words of Maya Angelou, when they show you who they are, believe them.
Right.
Okay. And I'll tell you what else draw money.
Yeah. That's a good answer too.
I'm just saying, I'm just being real, folks. So, but anyway, okay, we got time for one more, I think. If it's not too
okay,
but that whole thing is to be thought provoking. So,
I mean, it is technically. Let's see if I can find one from at least like phase 2 or something.
Okay. Oh, your mom's shaking her head now. Yeah. No. All right, let's try it.
What's one practice that has changed your life?
I have 2. One is prayer.
Okay. Word.
And the other is being true to myself.
Come on now.
Okay. And she backed away from the mic like,
mic drop.
She dropped it. Like, fortunately, she didn't really drop it, but yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I would say prayer. Definitely. And also being more, I think, realistic. Yeah, as you get older, I think you become more realistic in the time it takes for things to happen, and being more patient with that. Yeah, I think when I was younger, I couldn't see why things just didn't happen, like right away. But things take time, and people, have to go through different decision-making process. I mean, things just take time. And even with all the technology, it seems like things take longer to happen than they did back when we didn't have all this technology. But, but to be patient, I think, is something that I've learned, I've gotten better at. That's changed me.
There you go.
And you, Armandi?
A practice that has changed my life. I don't know. I mean, I think I've started to typically like when I set my alarm for when I wake up has really changed my life. Like I always kind of give myself a little extra time just in case.
Okay. All right. What do you have to say about that, Mom?
I think that's a good practice.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything else at the moment. So, but yeah.
I think that's a level 1 answer for a level 2 question.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Well, that's something for us all to think about. And we'd like to hear from you as well. If you have anything you'd like to chime in, we might put these questions on the website, and then we can hear from our.
Yeah, I was going to say we should throw one up there and then have people answer.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So we want to hear from you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything else to say to your mom on Mother's Day?
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
I love you. I love you very much. Thank you so much just for everything. I mean, I know I tell you every Mother's Day. I should probably tell you more often anyway, but I just really appreciate you and all the sacrifices that you've made for me and over my life, and just you were basically my twin for I mean, you still are. We look very much alike. So I was always your mini me, and
still my mini me.
This is also factual. But yeah, I just love you very much, and hopefully, you will be able. I'm sorry I can't be there to celebrate Mother's Day with you, but just know I'm sending lots and lots of love. I wish I could be sending lots and lots of money, but one day when I get my black card, don't worry, you will be able to shop at Zara until your heart's content. So
when you get your black
Zara,
black card, baby, it will not be Zara.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I should have known. Of course not. But yeah, I just love you. So happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the other mothers out there. My mom-in-law as well. Just shout out to her, and
because she listens. She's a fan.
Yeah, love you too.
Well, thank you, Mom, for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
You are released now.
Well, thank you for having me, and all y'all can send me my flowers while I'm living.
All right,
we'll do.
Yeah, but your mom wants to pick out the flowers, so
Yeah, well, there,
so much for that surprise.
She's usually a little, just a tad bit difficult. So
yeah, because she knows what she wants. So
yeah,
that's a good thing. The bad thing is when you don't know what you want. So,
exactly.
And I've been trying all these years to figure that out. Sometimes I get it right. Sometimes, sometimes I say, okay, what is it that you need me to do? So that was fun with your mom. That's great.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say that was known as a great game.
Yeah,
like the game of baseball.
Yeah. So this is true. Yeah, I said okay. Yeah.
So real quickly through sports, baseball season is upon us. The Braves, have an up and down. They got whooped by LA, but they're in first. They're in first place, and they got best record in baseball or close to it.
Yeah. Them and the Cleveland Guardians actually, which
they actually beat.
They played. Yeah, no, it's funny.
Yeah.
I had a girl who's a regular at Starbucks. It's so funny because she comes in. I say hi. Mind you, I know her name. I don't know if she knows my name or whatever. So I always say, hey, so and so when she comes in, whatever. I just ask how she's doing. Like usually she comes in, there's barely anybody in there. So I'm like, oh, okay. We try to connect with people and that sort of thing. How's it going? Usually she's pretty quiet. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. And I always wear my Braves hat at work. And so she looked at my hat and she's like, are you a Braves fan? Are you from Atlanta? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why are you from Atlanta? She's like, no, I'm actually a Cleveland Guardians fan and we're playing you guys right now. And I was like, oh, that sucks for y'all. But they have very similar records. So we were talking about that, and
I think they beat them 2 out of 3.
Yeah, they did.
I believe
they did. So we talked about that. Yeah, which was cool.
Yeah. So we'll watch baseball. We got a long way to go with that. All right. NFL draft. Just any surprise that the Falcons picked Michael Penix.
We just always find a way, man. We find a way.
Spend all that money on a quarterback, and then you draft a quarterback, and so they say they have a master plan that it's all going to work out in the end. So we'll see. But everybody was shocked. Just kind of jaw dropping that they picked him.
Yeah, because then now Kirk Cousins feels like, I'm sure he feels like great.
Yeah, like, okay, so what does that mean?
Exactly.
So we'll see what happens. I
whatever. Well, I can't remember the last time I was excited for a Falcons season, to be honest. I'm sorry, but guess we'll see.
Yeah. NBA playoffs going on.
Hey, listen, come on. Look, let me say this. I've always been a Mavs fan my entire life.
Yes, you have.
But, something about living in Denver, you do what you want when you're the champs, okay? So I have to say, Dirk was always my favorite player. So now that he is no longer playing, I love Luka. That's great. Love Kyrie. Wonderful. Shout out to the Mavs. Listen, I wish them all of the success, okay? Unless you have to play my new favorite team, the Denver Nuggets. Okay, that is the home team. Yeah, listen, I don't even care. You could say I'm hopping on the bandwagon if you want, but I'm sorry to say, live in a city now where the basketball team ain't that bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And the reigning champs, okay?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 2-time, MVP and Joker, and I truly believe whoever comes out of this series between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets will go on to the finals.
To win. Okay. All right.
I don't know if they're going to beat the Celtics because I assume the Celtics are going to make it to the finals as well. But then again, I don't know. You got a lot of teams that are playing well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well. So we'll, by the time when we do our Memorial Day show in a couple of weeks or so, we're giving you 2 shows in the month of May because we did not get the one out in April when we were going because we were traveling. Everybody was doing their thing. So Mother's Day today we're dropping, and then on Memorial Day weekend we'll be dropping a show. But we'll know more about where everybody is in NBA playoffs by then. You look, I've gotten caught up in this Kendrick Lamar and Drake thing. I listened.
You even put it on there.
Well, I remember you talking about it, and then this
crazy.
song popped up on
which one, Euphoria?
On Spotify, and I listened to it. And I was like, oh my goodness!
You listened to it?
Yeah, I listened to it. Why would not listen to it? Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just come on.
Yeah, because I wanted to know what was going on.
Yeah. So if I could quickly just, mind you,
recap.
Mind you, there's been a lot of beef between the two. There's been subtle, light jabs and stuff between the two of them for quite some time, I think. Obviously, there's no debate about Drake's popularity and his number one, all of his achievements and that sort of thing. And there's a lot of backstory to it. You can go look it up yourself. I'm not going to deep dive. I have been deep diving, but I'm just going to try to run through it quickly. So in March of 2024, Metro Boomin, producer, and Future, who is an Atlanta native rapper, and they made a song called Like That. And on Like That, I remember listening to it in the gym for the first time, hearing Kendrick on a verse on Like That. And on that verse, because now I'm sorry, let me preface this before this. Drake and J. Cole, they created a song called First Person Shooter. Basically, in First Person Shooter, they're saying Kendrick, Cole, and Drake, they're the big three, right? But Drake and J. Cole kind of, 1 and 2. Obviously, Drake's going to say he's number one. J. Cole's going to say he's number one. But Kendrick wasn't on the song, basically saying, hey, like, we're the big three, like we started a league, in reference to Ice Cube's big three league and everything, and yada, yada, yada. Guess Kendrick didn't like that. So he hops on Like That and basically says, mother, bump the big three, it's just big me. Okay, light little jab to both of them. Nothing crazy. So then after that, J. Cole then drops a project. And on this project, he has a song called 7 Minute Drill. On 7 Minute Drill, it's not a 7-minute song, so don't even know why it's called that.
Right.
But on 7 Minute Drill, he basically responds to Kendrick, talking about, hey, your last one was tragic. Your last album was tragic. Your first one was classic. Your middle one, it put people to sleep, but they gassed it up. All this other stuff, right? And which, come on, J. Cole, let's be honest. I mean, I think you're a great rapper, bar for sure, but that's not true. Kendrick is, he's Kendrick. Like, you give him his respect and everything. Right. 2 days after dropping that response to Kendrick at Dreamville Fest, which is J. Cole's festival, Dreamville is his label, he went on stage and apologized. He said, listen, it wasn't right with my spirit. I'm sorry, K. Dot. I didn't mean to, I put it out.
And K. Dot is Kendrick
Lamar. K. Dot. I shouldn't have done that, whatever. It just wasn't sitting right with me, right? He bows out. A lot of people are like, bro, what are you talking about? This is rap. This is what we've been waiting for. We love rap beef. This is the true heart of hip hop. And for you to do that, you're not going to stand behind what you said. Like, you're just going to take it back, take the song down. Lo and behold, we all now, J. Cole, we owe you an apology. You made the right decision, sir. Drake, on the other hand, did not. So then what happens is, in response, we're waiting. J. Cole drops in response to Kendrick. Great. Out of nowhere, March 25th, 2024, right? Drake, he's kind of responding to Kendrick during his tour, right? He's on tour. He's sort of responding and everything, but hasn't dropped a song. And so in April, Drake drops Push-Ups. Now, in Push-Ups, what's the big story in Push-Ups? Well, it's a diss track to Kendrick, basically saying, hey, ever since you left your old label, TDE, Top Dog Entertainment, Top Dog, who is the owner of the label, you owe him 50%. Now, we're not sure if that's 50% of your catalog, 50% of future profits that you make, but Kendrick now has his own label called PG Lang, right? So in order to leave TDE, he's basically, in the song, Drake's like dropping, give me 50, like 50 push-ups, right? Like when Top Dog says drop, as in drop music, you got to drop and give him 50, as in 50%, right? So that's the big story with that, right? Oh, okay, boom. Then Drake drops another diss track. He's going back to back, like he did with his beef with Meek Mill years ago, right?
Okay.
He drops Tailor-Made Freestyle, talking about how you make songs, with Taylor Swift. You got to make songs for the Swifties and all this other stuff, basically discrediting Kendrick Lamar, all this other stuff. I make more money than you. I make better music than you, this, that, and the other. And then Kendrick finally responds and drops Euphoria. And
it was. Oh, so the Euphoria is the latest part of this, right?
No, it is not.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
No, Kendrick drops Euphoria on April 30th. Euphoria, which is a show on HBO Max, which Drake also helps produce. So there's that.
I figured there was a connection to the show.
There's things to unpack but either way, he comes out with Euphoria, responds to Kendrick. It's just so much. It's so much in the song. He doesn't like how Drake says the N-word.
Right.
Talking about Drake is a white boy.
I heard that.
People to he's half white, so you use black people for your agenda. This, that, and the other. You were better off with your beef against Pusha T. If you think about pushing me, I'm Terrence Crawford. I'm whooping feet. Like, shoot, what else did he say? Now, mind you, other people have also made disses about Drake as well, i.e. The Weeknd, or not disses, but have basically come out saying they don't like him. Like, you got Metro, you got Future, you got Rick Ross, right? Rick Ross on social media.
Not my lookalike, Rick Ross.
He also dropped a diss track about Drake. So in all of these songs, he's basically saying this is a 20v1. You know what I mean? You got all these people who don't like me now. A$AP Rocky, who is, Rihanna's, right. All this other stuff, right? And so then after Kendrick drops Euphoria, he also drops 616 in LA. So Kendrick goes back to back. May 3rd, he drops 616 in LA. And
I gotta listen to that one.
Yeah, you gotta listen to that one. He has receipts. Drake's Ozempic prescription bottle is literally like they're in the cover of the song. You got that. You got a couple other things that this is a real picture, right? This is a real picture. He gets real. It's no longer light little jabs.
But that's a HIPAA violation, isn't it?
Listen. It's getting to that point. I mean, what is he saying? Have you ever thought OVO, which is Drake's label, is working for me? Kendrick's claiming you got snitches in the camp. That's how I got all this information. They're basically like, hey,
I got it.
Each of them have this red button that they're ready to push, and they haven't quite pushed it yet, right?
All right.
Then at 3 a.m., Drake drops Family Matters. And in Family Matters, he goes on to not only address Kendrick, saying, hey, I hear you put your hands on your wife. Is that self-defense? Is that considered self-defense because she's bigger than you? Or, hey, how about the fact that you proposed in 2015, but you didn't want to make her your actual wife? We know the girls you actually like.
Okay, so now
it's families are involved. Families are involved. But also, I will say this: Kendrick in 616 in LA and also Euphoria, he mentions he addresses Adonis, Drake's son. Hey, this is how you shouldn't be raised. I know your father is setting this a bad example for you. So, kids are involved, wives are involved. All of this is coming out, right? Drake's like, A$AP Rocky was claiming, you had sexual relations with my baby mama before I was with her. Well, let's do the math. Who was I with? Well, you were with my baby moms at the time. I was with yours, which is Rihanna, right? So throwing all these shots at people. What you wanted the tea? This is the tea. Right?
I know, but it's just too much for my brain without privileging to catch up with.
I know it's a lot.
And we're running out of time.
Okay. I'm almost done. Okay. After Family Matters, literally maybe like 3 hours later or so, or maybe the next day, Kendrick drops Meet the Grahams. Okay? Graham is Drake's last name. His real name is Aubrey Graham. And the big thing in this is not only does he drop Meet the Grahams, he also drops Not Like Us. So Kendrick again goes back to back. Now we are caught up. And the biggest thing that he has mentioned in these two tracks, one, Drake, you not only have a son, but you also have an 11-year-old daughter that people don't know about. Oh. Also, Drake, you got people in OVO, your label, who have, allegations, about sexual misconduct and everything that you're protecting. Also, hey, Drake, this is what some people are speculating. The whole 11-year-old daughter thing isn't really a daughter. It's in reference to him having a situation with Millie Bobby Brown, 11 from Stranger Things. In his most recent song, Kendrick's like, "Hey, we know you're a pedophile, Drake.
Oh, wow.
We know you like them young."
Oof.
Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. And Drake, it's up to Drake to respond or not. So now you're all caught up. These are the things that are being said. These are the allegations. And lastly, I will say that I don't know what's true. We need receipts. People could be lying. I heard someone say in rap beef, it's not a bar unless it's true. So we'll have to see. But that's where we're at. So J. Cole, you made the right decision.
Wow. So the saga continues.
Yeah, I'm a little tired of it, to be honest. Like it's well
getting out
past
of hand. Yeah.
it's well past rap beef, and like we get it, but now like they're trying to end careers. It seems like. But anyways, that's the rap beef. Sorry, it took forever, but I'm in
pretty
it.
much
I'm in
did.
it, though.
But I mean, it's kind of like when I talk about politics and things going on, how you kind of like, okay, move on. Yeah, but it's interesting.
I get it.
I did hear Euphoria, so I was that piqued my interest.
Yeah, you should listen to Family Matters, the one that Drake dropped right after that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's good. It's a good one. Okay. It's a good one.
All right, I'm gonna put that down and add that to my my listening. I won't say pleasure, but I'm gonna listen. Okay, Family Matters. Okay. So now that we're up to speed on that, thank you so much for that play by play.
You're welcome. I'm like winded.
I know. I don't catch your breath. Real quickly, just a reminder, we talked about the Upshaws. Part 5 is out on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, 6 episodes, about 24 minutes. Definitely go and watch it. Watch it all the way through. It's so funny. And, the episodes connect. Talked a little bit about the episode on Black History Month, which is just hilarious. So if you haven't, Big Wedding is a part of this, not to give away what's going on, but there's a wedding in this particular season as well.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. So you forgot about that, huh? Yeah. So anyway, tune into the Upshaws, and real quickly, we do have coming up on maybe our next episode, Sandra from The Golden Bachelor to talk about. She's confirmed that she's going to be on. So we're going to listen and hear about what's happening with Golden Bachelor, particularly after the Golden Bachelor divorced the person that he picked. They had a big wedding in January, but now they're divorced. Yeah. So I want to hear all about that. But anyway, that's coming up, and we want to thank the Dangerfield Newbies for the music as well. And I did talk to Jamal. I said this on the last episode. He did promise us an interview this month, so I'm going to hold him to it. And we thank you for listening, for subscribing. Please share with your friends and family as we try to expand our audience. Thank you for getting us over 2,000 downloads, so we appreciate that.
Come on.
And heading to 3. Slowly but surely.
Roll call to 3K.
And remember, you can go to boomerandthemillennial.com to leave your comments. You can even leave a voicemail, and you can also listen to past episodes. So thank you for tuning in. And as always, I am Reggie the Boomer.
And I'm Armando the Millennial.
And we're out. Peace.
Peace.